this is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going with the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to him.
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Section's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go. Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
It's a battleground in the final stages of the championship. Just 4 rounds remain. And in order to get to the very top and to showcase exactly what you're capable of doing, you've got to make sure that each round is maximized from this point onwards. This is the circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in the iRacing Grand Prix Series. A street circuit, which by all intents and purposes is one where everyone is going to have a really, really difficult challenge with all of their efforts today. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the conversation here at SimSpeed TV. I'm Jake Sperry, Scott Fountain, alongside with me for the ride here for this one. And Fonty, it's a track that hasn't been visited to by Formula One in the last couple of years due to the situation going around in the world, but one which, when they do return, going to be very, very beloved when it comes back to it. It's one of the few street tracks that doesn't necessarily feel like a street circuit because you do have those abilities to overtake.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sperry. Welcome everybody to another round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series at the beautiful Montreal circuit. This is one place I'd love to go to in real life, and yeah, it doesn't matter what series we go to in around this track. Yeah, we always see great racing, and yeah, especially that last corner, absolutely love it. It's very fast, very flying. You can see many accidents there, and yeah, it's going to be a great race tonight.
Certainly will reduce field size here today, 16 as the field split into 2 out there as everyone looked to try and get themselves going through. And of course the runs here today, of course 12 and 13 are definitely the big corners to keep an eye out on. So keep yourself ahead, and you've got a chance to score some pretty solid points on the board. But qualifying at this point in time is underway right now. They've got 8 minutes or 2 laps, whichever does turn up first. And as they make their challenges around the track, it is a surprise at the top at the moment. Tomonori Kajitani has got the car on pole position of 112.874. As making a drive then over to the start-finish line will be Adam Webb. 13.5 there, good enough for 6th position there with that lap. Not really any changes in terms of strategy. Cone, Smith and Cat are the only 3 on the mediums here for 47 laps today, as the challenges to make drives to the line continue. Matt Wood on his 2nd lap right now as well. He'll be hoping that he can get himself round the final corner, find himself a 10th of a second, and over the line. Oh, he does so in space. He does so by almost 2/10.
Yeah, there we go. Great lap there from Matt Wood. Another stellar performer that we have on track here. Jorge Martinez not on a lap. He's back in P4 though. Jan Stratinsky, he looks to be on a lap at the moment. Currently sitting in P11 is Jan.
Doing a pretty good job of things as well. So Jan Stratinsky out there on a lap. So too Tamashene, Adam Cohn, John Pat Kelly. They're all there trying to search for some time. So too Anish Mehta as well. You can see the charge there. There is John Pat Kelly making his way into turn number 10. The hairpin, and trying to get as much drive going through and out of this section of track before charging on this long casino straight. And very nearly actually brushing the wall on that lap on the right-hand side. So getting a little bit frisky with this one. Through the right, through the left, powering off of the exit and looking to make a drive towards the line. What sort of time is it going to be? It's a 14.5, so no improvement there for John Pat Kelly. It's worth noting that track temperature here is 32 degrees. It's pretty much ideal conditions right now. Shane out of laps right now out on circuit, so the only other driver who can improve is Anish Mehta, who's just making his way through the final corner right now. He's on a 14.9, his best lap at the moment. That will improve and jump 2 positions there onto a 14.6, going 14th fastest overall. So with that, everyone is done in qualifying, and that will mean that we can take ourselves towards the starting grid. And how everyone is going to start off then at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve for 47 laps of action today. Matt Wood will start the car up on pole position with Tomonori Kajitani's best qualifying of the season to date in 2nd position. Dennis Branch goes from 3rd with Jorge Martinez in 4th position. Then it's Masafumi Abirame in 5th, and Adam Webb finds himself starting in 6th position. Row number 4 of the grid will have Gennady Kalashnikov in 7th and Kent Nielsen in 8th, with Hiroyuki Sekiguchi 9th. Jan Stratinsky, also a Canadian native, in 10th position. Tamas Shane and John Pat Kelly make it an all-American 6th row of the grid, with Adam Cohn, the New Zealander, and Anish Mehta there in 14th position, which just leaves from Club West an American Dustin Smith and Anthony Catt there, the Brit, in 16th position overall. A reduced field will be help to these drivers. They know that this track has the tendency to cause a couple of issues here and there in terms of accidents, because it is very narrow by the by, and you don't have a million miles of run to go all the way towards turns 1 and 2, that Senna S, to start off the lap. Of course, this is such an important circuit to have track position on, and surprisingly, once again, it's a case of Japanese drivers doing really well. This is the only track where Kazuki Umeshima in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series managed to pick up his one and only WCS victory. And maybe Kajitani can follow in some very similar footsteps. Same too for Masafumi Abirame out there on track. But as the drivers populate themselves on, they've got 2 minutes to do so, or they can elect to start themselves in pit lane. Not necessarily the worst idea in the world, and just waiting for one driver, that being Jorge Martinez, who's going to make everybody sit and everybody wait in terms of opportunities to go forward. You know that this is going to be about being aggressive early. This is not the easiest track in the world. Onto the grid will come Jorge Martinez. Lights then will come up. We're going to get ourselves ready. And we, today, ladies and gentlemen, are underway. And it's a great start from the front 2 drivers. Not so much then from the 2nd row of the grid, and that allows Adam Webb a really good run up already into 5th position. Martinez trying to search for 3rd against Dennis Branch in the blue flag racing car and trying to get some power down, making that run towards 3 and 4 out on track. He gets the move nicely sorted, and they funnel into line. No dramas then through the opening section of road, and that is exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, exactly right. Good start there from Matt Wood out in front there. Jorge Martinez has moved up past Dennis Branch. He got it off the line slightly better. Adam Webb back there in 5th position. No incidents as of yet, which is good to see, considering this is a street circuit. Everyone taking it pretty easy. Oh, a little bit of a run wide there by Tamashane. He's going to be put under pressure here by John Pat Kelly.
He certainly is, and they're running in towards the hairpin then for the first time here in this one. How are they going to make their lunges down in at the moment? Dustin Smith having a little search there in the back. It's Anish Mehta unable to unlock that, and they don't have really that much benefit on the opening couple of laps as they charge towards these chicanes. They don't have the drag reduction system available, Fonty, until lap 3 of the event.
Yeah, that's exactly right. DRS makes a huge part up of this event, and yeah, it's going to be really cool to see when they get along that back straight there how many passes are done into that final chicane as we go and have completed 1 lap of this IGPS event. Matt Wood got a nice comfortable lead now, out to almost a 2nd. He's being Jorge Martinez, I should say, has been putting plenty of pressure on the car in front of him.
Has been, but what you can definitely say at this point in time is that he's been unable to really capitalise, and that's a mistake in second there from Tomonori Kajitani, and the slowdown penalties around this circuit are absolutely astronomical. If you get it wrong, you've got to slow down immediately, and that will allow Dennis Branch down the inside, then into the hairpin, and immediately second goes to fourth, and Matt Wood's gone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just one small little mistake. He, did not want to use it. Has he got a problem here? Because he's still continuing to slow down. He's still serving it. Wow. Yeah, okay. This place really does hurt when you get an off track. He's gone from P2 way back to P7.
And here's the thing as well, when you serve a slowdown penalty, the worst time to get one of those is lap 2, because it will take the delta of your first lap and say you've sped this much through this section, and you're having to serve somewhere to the tune of 3 to 4 seconds worth of penalty. That's the way that here in iRacing they try and get around what is a notorious circuit for a number of chicanes, Fonty, for people who have that arcade style and that archaic style of, oh, I'm just going to cut all the chicane.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just going to go back here and have a little look and see what's actually happened. Oh, there we go. Just run over that grass slightly, and that was enough to do it. Not even half a tyre width. He dropped it off, and for that, I think his race victory potentially is out the window there, Sperry.
He's definitely way down the order now. He's back in 11th position on the road. He will have the DRS though, and he will have some help. Worth noting, only 2 drivers in this field, as we still see what happened to him as he dropped back trying to serve it all the way down, and he had to serve it all the way back. 2 drivers in this field are on the medium compound tyres. Adam Cohn and Anthony Catt, they are 15th and 16th on the road as things stand at the moment. So the challenge is there aplenty. 1.4 seconds the gap then between Matt Wood and Jorge Martinez then, who find themselves near the front. There's been one issue actually for a driver over this lap. That was Dustin Smith getting himself into a bit of trouble, and he did so in fact a number of laps ago. He was way back down the order, so he's had a moment lap 2, and his issue on lap 2 was he went straight on at turn number 3. So it wasn't this lap, it was the lap before that where he had a straight on moment and took to the escape road.
Yeah, disappointing there for Dustin Smith. Doesn't come here every week, but we've certainly seen his name out there on track. Great performance so far from Dennis Branch, sitting in P3. We saw him have some serious pace last week, and was right up the pointy end of the field. He is 1.5 seconds behind Jorge Martinez now in P2, who's chasing down, or trying to chase down Matt Wood.
Yeah, and we've got a very interesting battle going on in terms of drivers who have gained spots. Gennady Kalashnikov's done well, and that's a move done as Hiroyuki Sekaguchi there loses the position. That another slowdown on the front stretch there. Oh no, again for Tomonori Kajitani, it is death by paper cut. He couldn't slow it down, and going over that chicane is 4 seconds.
Yeah, exactly right. There we go. That's not what he wants. We'll try and go back and have a little look here, see what's happened.
Well, it looks like for the first time in this race he's had DRS, and he's looking to make a pass, and he'll be at maximum speed trying to get by and make this one happen. So he's full on the balls right now, moves to the inside, but he misses braking point by about 10 metres and can't commit to the corner.
No, that's exactly right. That's yeah, certainly not what he wants. He's yeah, great qualifying performance for him, and obviously he's put some laps in around this track, but just 2 small mistakes is all it's going to cost him, and he's nearly 5th from last at this stage in the race.
Yeah, not ideal at all. What I was trying to get to just before that was the battle. 4th, 5th and 6th as the gap between 1st and 2nd is 1.5 seconds at this point in time. Gennady Kalashnikov is up 3 places into 4th. You've got Adam Webb in 5th and Masafumi Abarame in 6th position. So they're doing a lot of work here in this mid-pack scrap. You've got Kent Nielsen on the back of it as well. And these 4 effectively fighting right now in this race for best of the rest.
Yeah, exactly right. It is the best of the rest. It's going to be hard to catch those front 3 cars. We will see pit stops from all of these drivers throughout the race. Be interesting to see what strategy they go with. As Sperry said, Adam Cohn and Anthony Catt, the only ones to start on the medium tyre. So their strategy potentially is a medium, then a soft tyre. And then these other guys potentially a 2-stop strategy. What do you think, Sperry?
I'm thinking 1 stop. It depends on how far they go, and I think some drivers may be a little bit further down, maybe looking at a 2-stop here. Anish Mehta, for example. There is Dennis Branch, the Michael Schumacher helmet as tribute, as he drives it around in the number 3 machine, and is keeping himself there, and it's effectively island racing at this point in time. He can't really do too much about that at this moment, but as they drive through 1 and 2, the Center S once again, it's a case here where you look at the Canadian of Kent Nielsen. He's definitely desperate to move on up and get what he can. The issue he's got is he's in a 4-car train where he can't really push that car as far as he'd want to. He's getting buffeted about through these middle sector corners.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He certainly is. He is getting buffeted about, and yeah, pretty tough track is Montreal. And yeah, as we've seen, mistakes hurt you around this place. There is a lot of runoff compared to other street circuits, but yeah, certainly a place that does not reward bad driving, that's for sure.
Exactly, and rewards are very hard to come by at this point in time, especially if you are a little bit further down in the pack. And I'm sure these drivers know that if they want to make a good charge today, they've got to take as much as they can. Sekiguchi in 9th position, still has Tamas Shane behind. And you are starting to see a couple packs just splintering back out into 1 or 2 car groups at this point. Every single time they're going out there, they're trying to make something happen. They also have to think about how's the tyre life going to work in a race like this. It's 47 laps, it's a long way in terms of distance, and you can see there just for the moment Masafumi Abarame there in the TC Corsa Esports car, getting very, very close there to the back of Adam Webb, and he's not able to find it at the moment because Adam Webb himself can't get close enough to Gennady Kalashnikov, and even if he were to get close enough, he's got DRS on the straight. This is what we call a classic DRS train.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not a huge amount of passing opportunities at this track. Not for these particular cars anyway. It is kind of single file running order at this stage. Wait for the person in front of you to make a mistake and then capitalise from that. This is our closest battle that we have on track at the moment. Adam Webb, Masafumi Abarame, Kent Nielsen, and then just a little bit behind them, 2.5 seconds back, Jan Stratinsky.
Yeah, and Jan will be looking at his race. He's doing pretty solidly at this point in time. Has been bouncing up and down between first split and second split. And a good result here would not only do him a lot of confidence here, Fonty, but it'll do him a lot of good in terms of his iRating. Yeah,
certainly right. iRating is a big important thing. And yeah, to be number 13 on grid, if he has a good result, even where he's finished now, he's going to probably make his way up the iRating train.
And as we know as well, iRating is a constant battle, and if you're racing official races like this one is, then you're at risk of having it go up or go down, and it's always dependent on performance. And this is why we see sim racers always striving for perfection as much as they can, because they know one small mistake costs them sometimes upwards of 200 points if they are not too careful on opening laps and other things out there in racing. No retirements so far from this field. They know it's still a long way to go, but the battle's still on. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, and Abarame looks like the most likely to make something happen here. Has been closing up over these laps, keeping themselves in a nice check. But the issue that you have being stuck behind, not only are you losing out in terms of you're unable to chase, but you're actually wearing your tyres out just a little bit more. You're stuck having to understeer through more corners. That creates more friction against the front tyres. And then ultimately, there's not much that you can really do about this as you go through. Everybody knows you've got to be absolutely in the best possible position to go and attack. But you're good for fuel, you won't be so good for tyres.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dirty air affects you so much around this place. Adam Webb, he's getting a little bit closer to Kalashnikov, just in front of him. This is our closest battle that we have on track, and oh, they get so close to that wall, don't they, Sperry? They're right on the limit, these guys. These cars are hard enough to drive at the best of times. Chuck them on a street circuit, and you kind of have to up the ante even more.
You certainly do, and it's this ante that continues and continues, and especially even back here, John Pat Kelly and Tominori Kashitani, both drivers who know what they're capable of doing. And Kashitani definitely has pace, but you can see even he's getting a little bit bottled up behind John Pat Kelly. Hits the brakes through the right and the left. And it's not just the fact that Kashitani's been bitten twice in this race by the off-track penalties. It's also the point that Tominori Kashitani will be picking up incident points every time he runs off the road. That will add up to the 17 points that leads to a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as we can see, it is really hard to make passing opportunities around here. With how many just turns there are, I don't think these cars are quite able to stretch their legs as much as they would like to. And yeah, we're not really seeing a huge amount of pace. His fastest lap so far in this race is a 15.7, and now the likes of Matt Wood, our race leader, a 14.7. So Manu was up in P2, he's about a second off the pace, and that could be a whole bunch of reasons why there.
Yeah, there's a million reasons why you can be off the pace as you try and search on the brakes. There are your two leaders right now, Matt Wood and Jorge Martinez, and it's been a really interesting first 12 laps of this race. The gap is 1.6 seconds. First time in a while that Martinez has actually closed that gap down, but a gap of 1.6, that's just needling pressure from Martinez, saying to Matt Wood, I'm here, you can't run away with it and have a slow race. That's Shane off the road, and he'll have a slowdown. Yep,
Shane will have a slowdown. That's going to let those drivers through as well. Oh, very close battling between this lot here. Tom Shane will be frustrated at that. He was trying to block and slow down as much as he could to stop those drivers behind going past, and it looks like he's managed to hold on to that position.
Yeah, he's lost one to Sekaguchi, who went sweeping around the outside, but he keeps behind John Pat Kelly and Tominori Kashitani out there on track today. So he's been able to hold off that in terms of a challenge, as there are battles all over the place as they go through, and as they keep themselves there. There's the four-car train again. Kalashnikov, Webb, Aberame and Kent Nielsen out there, and really I am fascinated with the Japanese scene of sim racing out there at the moment. The majority of the fame and fortune that you'd find would be, no surprise, in Gran Turismo Sport, as Aberame, having a little search to the inside, can't find it. But you can go back, Fonty, in terms of the history, and all the way back as far as 2014, they had a really, really strong team. Drivers like Umeshima, Yuta Saito was in the mix, and drivers who were up there and challenging and consistently look to try and cultivate that scene here in iRacing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The Japanese drivers are very strong, and here we get quite a few of them turn up in this series, do a fantastic job. And we've got this driver here driving, Kajitani, coming through the pits. He's going to make a stop there, change to the medium wall tyres. So interesting strategy call by him. He's just going to try and do a one-stopper from here, 13 laps through, and at least he's going to be in, air by himself now. He can potentially punch out good times and then hope that the other drivers, continue to stay out on track, don't come in for their pit stop yet, wear out their tyres, and he can just make his way through there, because I think he was struggling to make passing opportunities.
Yeah, I think it was very bottled up with Kajitani. It's not the end of the world having to come in early, get an early medium on, use the tyre now, and then sort of save it later. Mistake from Adam Webb after the final corner puts Aberame side by side on the run to turn number one, but Webb sweeping through, able to cover it off. Now, this is what we expect out of that final chicane. It's always going to be difficult. Webb really understeering as he went through there, Fontaine. He very nearly clipped the wall of champions.
Yeah, let's go back and have a look at that one. Oh, that was super close. Wow.
And you could even see there Kalashnikov just in front, very nearly tagging it as well. So trying to follow Kalashnikov. And this is why also, when you're out there and you're driving on circuit, you don't want to be following the brake tracks of the driver in front, because if they make a mistake, you make a mistake.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're just going to go back here. I've clicked a little bit further back than we should, but we'll jump on board Kalashnikov's car, see it hit from his angle. What's happened?
Well, this is how easily it happens, and you can see he's on the inside trying to cover it off, hits the brakes and goes into the right and into the left, and you know, that's how close you can get. It's really a case of fine margins through that.
Yeah, it certainly is. These guys drive it on the absolute edge, and yeah, if he had just touched that wall ever so slightly, these cars certainly don't have any give when it comes to contact with race cars or walls, and we would have seen him make his way down the order pretty quickly. Masafumi Abarame looking very racy on the back of Adam Webb here.
I'd certainly agree, and he's been just pushing the needle a little bit, seeing what he can get to. He's right behind, he's able to close up to a car length behind. That third chicane though is single file through that. There is no way you can fit too wide through the majority of that corner without losing a second and a half. And just like that, being a little bit too close through the third chicane leaves no run to attack down at the hairpin. But 2 bucket loads of DRS later, and it's looking like it may be exactly the same process as Kalashnikov's got himself a little bit of a gap. So opportunity knocks right now. Here comes Abarame thinking about the inside, but again, he's not quite close enough to Adam Webb, who's really been aggressive there through that chicane and was able to close the gap again to Kalashnikov in front.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This car here, from my timing, shows that he made a little bit of a mistake, and he's done it again there too. We're just going to go back and have a little look at the replay, see what has happened for him.
Third chicane, it's a spin for Anish Mehta, and this is how easily it can go wrong. You head under the bridge. Now, what I'm wondering here, was it a grab of grass? It wasn't. It's just the rear suspension locking. It's so easy to do. You're traveling through. It's like driving a go-kart here, but you've got like 1,000 brake horsepower in the back of it, Fonzie, and it weighs about half a ton. So if you've got all that to deal with here, Anish Mehta, you've got to try and feel it in the seat of your pants, and it's so difficult.
Yeah, it is so difficult. Absolute weapons to drive. It's all about downforce on one of these things, and you slightly unsettle that downforce, and you're going to see the car go around like this. However, these front 2 cars, Jorge Martinez, Matt Wood, they battle it out week in, week out. Matt Wood, though, is holding that gap pretty well back to Jorge Martinez. Jorge is very good on tyre life, though, but so is Matt Wood. So it's going to be interesting. Who's going to make the call to do a pit stop first? And I think that will potentially change our result here.
It certainly will. And 2 seconds between them at the moment. That can go on what is one of the toughest pit entries that you'll find this season. And there might be troubles from those in groups trying to dive into the pit. So you know you're going from about 335, 340 kilometers an hour on that straight, and you've got to break it down to 80, but you're braking right on the line to that next section, so there's always going to be troubles there. This is a great little scrap right now. A Sekiguchi on the back of Stratinsky can't quite find it through the third chicane.
No, certainly can't quite find the gap, but yeah, going back to your point of pit entry at this place, it is very difficult in the V8 Scop series that we run here. Or we're going to see side-by-side battling, potentially. No, he's going to hold that off. Going back to my point there, in V8 Scops we saw a big accident in pit entry for our top drivers. It's at the end of the straight here, and then they just have to go. There we go. We see one driver go there, so these cars potentially might not be as bad because they can get on the brakes so late, Sperry.
Yeah, that definitely looks to be the case. John-Pat Kelly and Tamas Shane still continuing their fight as Jan Stratinsky is in the pit. Now, here's something as well that's going to keep things interesting in terms of how they pit. It's not the Formula One style pits, it's the IndyCar style pits.
There we go. I'm not too personally sure what the difference is. You might need to fill us in on that one, Sperry. But away goes Jan Stratinsky. He's going to fall back to second to last on the results here, but that's okay because he has made his stop. He is behind the this car here, who was the first one in the lane.
And that is huge for Kajetani because it means that his undercut has jumped him ahead of the likes of Jan Stratinsky, which would put him right now in about 8th place on the road. So great work by Kajetani to undercut, use those laps. 6 laps of advantage have certainly come in play, and he's been doing 15.2s compared to most of the field right now who are doing 16s at this point in time. And it is worth saying the only 2 drivers quicker than Kajetani on the mediums right now are Matt Wood and Jorge Martinez, who are the class of the field who are 10 seconds clear. Martinez is from Dennis Branch in 3rd, so a really good job there being done and constructed at this point in time.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Absolutely nothing in it between these guys. Fastest lap of the race for Katane is a 14.9, and then Wood 14.7, Martinez 14.8, and those front 2 cars are currently lapping at 15 flat. So yeah, doing a fantastic job there is Katane, and potentially we could see him come out. Might be lucky enough to get a top 5 result here.
Maybe, but Kajetani knows that he's got work to do if he wants that to be the reality. And he might be fighting against quite a bit late on, as you can see there. That is a great fight between John-Pat Kelly there in the SRT machine. Tamas Shane in BMW Sauber colours. And I'm sure that Tamas Shane today, as we... Oh, look at this. Aberame through on Adam Webb. Has got it done only for the moment because Webb's going to get DRS back, but he can't quite find the move to get it sorted. Aberame runs slightly wide. That was a move into the final corner, and it certainly paid off.
Yep, certainly did. We're going to go back and have a look here, see how that's been done. Got the nice slingshot pass. Not going to really be contested. And job done there.
Certainly is, and here's where the job actually becomes interesting now, Fonzie. If they can make the tyres last 3 or 4 more laps, they're on a one-stop soft all the way to the end.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Soft tyre right towards the end of the race. It's going to be pretty tough on these cars, but they look to be doing a decent job now, holding that lap time pretty well. And yeah, they should be able to make it home with no problems. I am interested to see what the likes of Anthony Catt, Adam Cohn do. They started on the medium compound tyre. When will they come in and make a pit stop? Probably around somewhere around lap 35 maybe? 30-35 to change to that soft compound tyre.
Seems like the right range. We saw 13 laps on the stint from Kajetani to make that change to go on to the mediums, so I wouldn't put it outside of the realms of possibility right now at this point. As into the pits comes Tamas Shane right now to make a stop. So we're on replay there for a moment. We'll go back live. Tamas Shane is down in the pits at this point in time. You can see he's on the limiter, and it's a long wait. And the reason why this IndyCar pit is so different here, Fonty, is because you have to go further along down the lane to get what you want, and effectively in terms of getting up to speed, you wait a very, very long time for that green commit right down at the end of the pit lane.
Yeah, you certainly do. Oh, he's going to come out side by side here with Dustin Smith, who is going to let him go and just try and hang on the back there. We saw Dustin, he is the second to lowest iRacing driver in the field here, so he'll just want to have a good points result there, and hasn't made a pit stop. Looks like to be really struggling with those tyres to get the power down, But just keeping it clean and consistent, we're doing well. We've got Kent Nielsen, he's coming to the lane. Oh, he slowed right down there. We might get a replay on Kent Nielsen's entry to the pit lane.
Get one on Branch. Get one on Dennis Branch from 3rd position. He very nearly found himself pancaking the wall as he came in. Dennis Branch was absolutely trying to get that slowed down. And you're going to see it right now as he hits the brakes. He's well out of it and has to skirt a little bit across the grass just to make safety.
Yeah, wow, that was pretty committed there by Dennis Branch. Go back and check out Kent Nielsen's entry. And just see how he got along there. Here we go. He looked to have just locked up slightly.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can tell he's absolutely trying to get that car slowed down. He had the pit limiter on in 8th gear.
There we go. That's commitment there from Kent Nielsen. A very seasoned veteran is Kent Nielsen, and we have a big thanks from Kent Nielsen and all the crew at the open wheel iRacing community. Is that right, Sperry? Did I say that right?
Close enough. The iRacing open wheel community doing a great job. But look at this as he comes out of the pits. This is still on replay, by the way.
It is.
Just behind him, who will be coming up on the right-hand side. You're not going to see it from this angle, but it is actually the number 5 machine, Tominori Kajitani. So that shows you how much time you can gain from the undercut. He'd moved strategy, and suddenly he's in a race for 4th place.
Yeah, there we go. That was a fantastic call there by Kajitani. He really thought about that one after those 2 little off tracks that he had, and look at the benefit that it's brought him up. Now my question is are those tyres going to survive to the end of this race? We're at the halfway point in the race. He stopped on lap 13, I believe.
Yeah, he did, and that's going to be a long stint from there to the end. That's Gennady Kalashnikov that's just come out ahead of Ken Nielsen. So that's going to be interesting.
Here we go.
Leading duo, going as far as we expected them to. End of lap 23, give themselves 24 laps to bring themselves home. And that's not surprising because the way that this car works, you can't refuel the car. So effectively, every time you're going around this circuit, it gets a little bit easier on the tyres on that second stint.
Yep, certainly does get easier. The track grip is going to go up. Who's going to make the fastest stop here? Pretty identical. Marquez has gained and closed the gap slightly. 1.4 seconds. What will it be when we get clear? Oh, he has gained slightly on that. So potentially a slightly quicker stop. Let's just have a quick look at the box time for Marquez. 3.9 for Marquez. We will flick over and have a look at this man Matt Wood. 3.4 for Wood, so half a second in it faster for Wood. Marquez must have really caught up on that pit lane entry.
Yeah, that definitely looked like the way that it went, and they were up and down pretty quickly. Aberame, by the way, has come out of the pit ahead of Kalashnikov and Nielsen, so he's done really well. Adam Webb, the big loser in the pit stop phase, but your front 2, we've got a race on our hands at this moment. They know what they want, and they know that they're probably going to be able to get it as well in a race like this. And it's going to be a long, long road from now to the end. Matt Wood is getting pressured every stage of the way. And you can see that for the first time. Marquez with the DRS flap open. He was within 1 second as they met the marker on track, which signals where they need to be.
Yep, certainly does show where they need to be. Look at that gap. There's our live gaps between the first 4 cars. Marquez really closing in on that pit stops there. To get it under 1 second is what he wanted, to be able to use that DRS that Sperry was just talking about. He's going to get that done, and hopefully he can close that gap and we can see a real battle for the race win here, Sperry.
We certainly can. I just want to keep an eye on Jan Stratinsky because he's had 2 really, really horrible laps going through, and he had to come back in actually a second time for speeding off the pits. So for Stratinsky's race, it's pretty much done right now in 15th position. He's a lap down here in this one, and he's got a long way to go to bring himself back into contention. The two who haven't pitted, by the way, are 4th and 5th at this point in time. They're expected, when they come in and make their stops here, though, Fonzie, to drop all the way back to what is 12th and 13th.
Yep, that's exactly right. Adam Cohn, Anthony Catt, they were the ones who started on the medium compound tyre, so they've still got a little bit left in it. Potentially we'll see up to 10 laps for those guys. Their pace is really not on par with where they need to be, so could be sooner. I'd be stopping probably lap 30 if I was them, but I'm not them and I don't drive this car that often, so I'm sure they would be able to tell me a thing or two.
Maybe they will, but they're trying to get themselves as far as they can here in terms of their stop. Now, the leaders are interesting. They've just had to go past lap traffic here in the form of Anish Mehta in the number 16 car, and it brings the gap down to about half a second. Mistake.
It did.
Mistake from Martinez, and as he goes across the circuit, say goodbye to all that time. Say goodbye to all that effort. He grabbed the grass on entry, and that may just be the race.
I think that is going to be the race. You can never say never, but Matt Wood, he's a very good driver. We don't often see a mistake from Matt Wood. That gap now, 2.6 seconds. Martinez, he'll be absolutely gutted with himself. We'll go back and have a quick look and see what's actually happened here to Jorge Martinez. He'll be gutted with that one.
He will. It's just a case of grass on entry. You can see he's on the right. He just tags it. Can't commit to the corner. And he has to skirt across there. The service road as well, which would have also caused a bit of trouble. So he gets past Anish Mehta. And I think it's just a pure lapse in concentration. Okay, we're past that. Wait, I'm too far across the circuit. Just one tyre width across too much. And those are the fine margins between winning and losing races here when it comes to sim racing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, Jorge, he'll be gutted with himself on that one. He is closing the gap. This will let Matt Wood, allow Matt Wood to just back it off slightly. Potentially, if he's really pushing the boundaries, he wants to look after those tyres, make it all the way to the end. Because, yeah, Jorge Martinez, he has closed that gap now, down to 1.7. Yeah. So, is Matt Wood just wanting to have a battle with him and battle it out to the end, or is he just going to look after those tyres a bit more?
That's going to be the question. Got a great scrap, 4th, 5th and 6th on the road right now. Masafumi Abarame has caught the back of these two, and he's got a dispatch of Catt and Cohn pretty quickly, because the group behind, Kalashnikov, Nielsen and Kajetani, are going to be on there soon. And you can see just how aggressive Abarame is. He's got so much against the Chelsea car, wants to try and find a way through. Both of DRS. This is going to make life tough here for Abarame, trying to make this move. And as he searches, he's unable to get it done through the first part. And as he got caught on that inside, looking to try and make that move, he gives himself 0 run, try and chase down the Chelsea car and the Leighton House car going in towards 1 and 2.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And it just shows how difficult it is to pass around here. And this is going to bring Kalashnikov, Kent Nielsen into the battle, and Kajetani there behind those guys. Yeah, and this is where you just got to be alert. You can't force these sorts of overtakes, and they're due to be there for another 2 to 7 laps there or thereabouts, and it's not the easiest race in the world. So Abarame can find a way through. That group behind, Kalashnikov, Nielsen and Kajetani, they're definitely going to want to make something happen here over the course of this one. And remember, Kajetani here is going to be on older medium compound tyres, so he's desperately trying to stay in this race. And that's a look down at the hairpin, and again, he can't find it here, can the number 4. No, he certainly can't find it. It is so difficult to pass around here, Sperry. And, well, just these cars, it seems to be. When we have seen other classes come here, it's passing at plenty. But, yeah, this is going to be getting frustrating for Masafumi Abarame. Just needs to be patient here, line it up, make sure he's got enough of an exit speed, because this is really bringing Kalashnikov into the play now. 1.2 seconds separating those two cars there of Abarame and Kalashnikov.
I'd say the best defense is good offense. That's what Anthony Catt's been doing. Closing it right up to Adam Cohn. Little look to the inside there, trying to get it done through 6 and 7 out on track. And again, Anthony Cat just able to hold that margin. Gap is coming down for the lead as well. So we'll keep an eye on that also. But this is suddenly turning into a 6-car train.
Oh.
Off the road goes Nielsen. And suddenly, Kashitani can get himself up to speed. Got a freebie here. Cookies. Thank you very much.
Yep, there we go. Another driver there to come under the wrath of dropping a wheel. And, yeah, you do certainly get really hurt here. Still half decent result. Oh, here we go. Battle on.
Cat gets the move done on Adam Cohn.
There we go. Fantastic. Let's go back and have a look at that one, because that's not...
Oh, hang on. Stay with it, because it's a double DRS zone, and Adam Cohn's going to be in trouble here. Aberame diving down the inside. He's dispatched of one.
Whoa.
That's beautifully done. Kalashnikov can't get there.
Oh, Kalashnikov probably had to jump on the brakes there. We're going to go back and have a look and just see how that all unfolded.
Straight to the inside. Gets it
Pretty
done
easy
before
done.
reaching the braking zone. And then the key, which is the double DRS zone. You only have one marker and it works for 2. So there'll still be no DRS there for Adam Cohn, as Aberame, slinging it down the inside, made sure that he was going to get that sorted.
Yeah, certainly did. Great passes there by those drivers. Looking back up the front though, 1.5 seconds for Martinez. He is still in the fight here, Sperry.
He is, and it is kicking off still in that battle as well. That's 1.5. Kalashnikov sending it to the inside, forcing Cohn to outbrake himself there and lose a position to Kashitani as well. Aberame couldn't quite get it done in the first part against one Mr. Anthony Cat, who's got that car beautifully set up for straight line speed and still going for it, but we'll catch a replay first and foremost. So this is how it all came about. Aberame is going to get the move done through turn number 1, but they can see Cohn is getting well out of the way there. Didn't want to cause any trouble. Then Kashitani able to pick one up as well on that drive forward. Yeah, no, I've got worse tyres. You can have it. I'm not going to fight you for it. And that's the way that cookie crumbles going on forward. And then he just dives to the pits. Not a bad decision, all in all. Overtaken, lost time. Might as well dive in, end of lap 30.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 31 laps of this race we are through. So that's about the time that the tyres are going to last. We are still on replay here. We'll just see how Adam Cohen's stop gets along. And he changes to that soft wall tyre. Away he goes. 4.1 second stop there for Cohen.
Hang on, we need to look at Adam Webb here, because he's thrown it in the wall coming out of turn 2. And he said, as he hit the wall there, you can see the back end of it, don't buy Fanatec. As he ended up going around there. So he knows what he felt was the cause of that issue, is that his wheel probably did something he wasn't quite too happy with. So let's get another look at it here. Going out of turn 2, this is going to be all on his own. On the brakes, dropping it down to 4th gear, flick it down to 2nd then for turn 2. And yeah, the wheel just grabs. It just completely hard locks over to the right.
That's disappointing. Should have gone on board a VRS wheel and he would have been alright. Yes, disappointing. Very disappointing there for Adam Webb, because he had great pace. We will go back live now. He's obviously plugged it in, plugged it out, plugged it back in, and it's reset and he's away, but that's hurt his chances of doing any good. He is pulled into the pits though. Race over for Adam Webb. He's going to throw the towel in and give up. Back looking at this front though.
It's certainly on, and we are still in a little bit of a really good drive here at this point in time. Matt Wood is gapped 1.1 seconds, and there's traffic in the form of Dustin Smith. So Martinez knows he's got to close it in as they go through, but it looks like Dustin Smith, who's still there, is having a few technical issues, then blinking in and out. So there were a little bit of complaints about the West server going forward, but Dustin Smith gets out of the way, and he is back there. But give credit for the tenacity of Martinez. That's the gap back to Dennis Branch. It's 20 seconds, the margin between those two. But really for Martinez, he knows one thing and one thing only. Desperately, he is trying to chase down that gap after Matt Wood.
Oh, he certainly is. He's trying everything he can to chase down Matt Wood here. He's yeah, fantastic driver. And he's potentially could make it back up. Is he going to burn out his tyres though too much? We're going to see Matt Wood drive away with this one at the end. It's only time will tell.
Anthony Cat as well, by the way, is down in the pits. He's out of the race, and he tangled with Gennady Kalashnikov going through the middle sector. Kalashnikov was trying to get down the inside, tags him from behind, gives him an almighty whack for his troubles, and I think both of them ended up in the wall. So this is how easily a race can go from bad to downright diabolical.
Oh.
Just the smallest tap there, and well, here's the issue going through. They keep tangling, and ultimately, yeah, just about deals with it. Kalashnikov has stayed out then, so he's got some very heavy front wing damage. And he's going to try and limp it home the last 14 laps of the race, and he'll have Hiroyuki Sekaguchi trying to get through next.
Yeah, certainly will. This man on screen done a fantastic job there. Sperry was commenting earlier. Dennis Branch is 20 seconds back from Jorge Martinez, but still on the podium at this stage in the race. Mr. Fumi Abarame in 4th position, and Kajitani, very impressed with his drive. He has gotten to the top 10, into the top 5.
Yeah, he has done.
Oh!
He's done so brilliantly. He's off.
Oh!
Oh, just you say it, Fonzie, you've got to apologise. That is the greatest commentator's curse I've seen in a long time. And just like that, Kajitani, back ends just stepped out as he put the power down.
Wow, there we go. I do apologise for that. We are going to go back and have a look and see what has happened here. That was a big off, and it looks like...
Oh, it's just power.
Oh.
Tries to put the power down on the exit, doesn't have the car settled, and he throws it in the inside barrier, and that is Kajitani's race over, just like that.
Yeah, you can see the car's crabbing pretty badly. Front wing is not in a good shape, and I need to apologise for throwing the commentator's curse on him, just saying how much of a good job he had done, and unfortunately he has put it in the wall ever so slightly. Looking back up front though, look at the gap, Sperry, we're down to 0.6.
It's there again, and you feel that Martinez has got the pace. He's been really working to get himself back, but there's an old adage that the legendary and late Murray Walker always said: catching is one thing, passing is most certainly another. If there's ever a circuit to talk about it, it's this one.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Catching is one thing, passing is another, and this track is very tough to make passes on. But if anyone can do it, Jorge Martinez can do it. He is absolutely legendary on tyre life and strategy, and week in, week out, we see him and Matt Wood battle it out. I feel like this season, Sperry has been even better for these two's battle on track, and we're seeing it here again today.
Yeah, of course, it's been tougher this season for Martinez. He's been pulling double duty, not only this, but the Force Dynamics iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, or as he's gone through, sorry, the DIGPC, the Grand Prix Championship. Martinez knows that he's got to absolutely push like a bat out of hell right now. He's got to unsettle Matt Wood as much as possible as they go through the chicane. Wood struggling a little bit to get the turn in that he wants. Martinez a little bit more narrow, will be more okay with it as they charge through towards turns 1 and 2 once again. And you just get that feeling that Martinez is waiting for a chance. Has got that gap down to 0.4 of a second. And this was the sort of range he was in about 10 laps ago, Fonzie, when, of course, that big mistake came in after he went through the third chicane.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He doing a fantastic job here. Is Jorge Martinez just waiting for Matt Wood to make a mistake. That gap is super close though, and we don't see mistakes happen from Matt Wood very often. I just think his tyre life is going to run out, and Matt Wood has really used this mistake that Martinez made a few laps ago to his advantage, and he's going to drive away at the end. But let's wait and see. 10 laps to go.
Yeah, certainly. When they cross the line, it will be 10 laps worth of racing, and Martinez is just sat there, comfortably enough sat there, just waiting for the chance to present itself. Through the right-left chicane then, the wall of champions on that right-hand side. There, that right-hand wall as they drive through. Left-hand side, you saw it on screen. And from the rear diffuser, we look from Matt Wood, and he's trying everything he possibly can to just bring himself into play. Get himself away as much as he can, and he knows it's going to be a very, very tough battle between now and the end. Interesting as well is Gennady Kalashnikov's battle right now in the final 10 laps. He's got the wing damage, we do know that, but look at the train that starts to fall behind. You've got Sekaguchi, the lap down Jan Stratinsky, Tamas Shane, and John Pat Kelly. They're all looking at this going, P6, P6.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Got to be happy with P6 on this track. Look at that front wing damage to Kalashnikov's car. He is doing a fantastic job there in front of Sekaguchi, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it for much longer.
I mean, Sekaguchi's been stuck there for a few laps. He's been unable to find a way through, but he knows that if he is going to do it, he's got to do it quickly and painlessly. And this the thing with Kalashnikov. He's actually defending these positions here. He is trying desperately to hold on. He knows his race is not going to be won by outright speed. He doesn't have that. He's just got to keep cars behind as much as possible. And because of that front wing damage there, it's going to be ultimately difficult. Try and keep things pretty much together on the front. So has he got enough for a run here into the hairpin? We might see Sekaguchi lunge for it. He looks to the inside. Kalashnikov takes the outside, but he gets it horribly wrong. The Sekaguchi locks up the rear axle, and that is eyes bigger than the belly, and I think he scared himself.
Yeah, I think he did scare himself there. It was all his place. He did have that one gifted to him pretty much. There was going to be no battle there from Kalashnikov. He just left the gap open, but then yeah, bit of a mistake there, but I'm sure with 9 to go he will get it done. Next time probably keep committed.
Yeah, and that commitment is going to be key on the brakes through the first chicane once again. And the focus is there. You've got to find that move and unlock it again. And on the brakes, that left-right just continues to go along. It's just a constant struggle. And because this track is so flat as well, Fonty, you're just losing so much grip on the tyres. You've got no banking out there, or camber as it's normally known on road courses. To help you, Kalashnikov with a mistake. And almost there. Just got onto it a little bit too early there. Did Sekaguchi. He had to lift out of the power.
Yeah, I think he might have almost touched then, to be honest. And
he's got it now.
Yeah, he's got it on the corner. Well, has he? I don't know if he has.
Well, he'll have DRS. That's the key. He'll have DRS down the straight. And this surely now is the move. Kalashnikov's got no front wing in comparison to Sekaguchi, who goes to the outside trying to get it done and trying to throw it through. Too eye contact in the wall. And there goes Kalashnikov.
Well, there we go. We're going to have to definitely go back and have a look at that replay, because that was pretty fierce driving from these guys side by side. One of them should have given way here. Kind of bounced off, bang into the wall. Yeah, but a net code there. We do see it happen, especially when drivers are on opposite ends of the world as each other.
Absolutely. You've got Gennady Kalashnikov, based in Russia. You've got in Japan there the driver of Hiroyuki Sekaguchi, and there's not much you can do in those sorts of situations. They left them each other as much room as they could have done, but that gap is now starting to creep here for Matt Wood. 0.8 of a second. Martinez is still in range, but it's just in range. It's not really a needling push, you'd say here, Fonty, at this point in time, that gives you what you need to go and construct an overtake.
Yeah, I think Martinez has just worn out those tyres trying to close that gap, but they did come in at the exact same time, and their pace has been pretty similar throughout this race, so yeah, potentially there is still a chance, but there is so little passing opportunities at this track. he's only really going to potentially get it if Matt Wood makes a mistake.
And mistakes and Canada, they do go hand in hand, even all the way down to the last lap, 2010. Canadian Grand Prix can tell you that. The longest Formula One race ever, as John Pat Kelly in 8th, as Thomas Shane in front of him in 7th. Of course, that race also holds a record for the most pit stops. 6 pit stops for Jenson Button, 2 change front wings. Was dead last at least 3 times in that race, and still came along to win the race overall. So it shows you just what you need to know in terms of how racing can be unpredictable. But as they drive through, John Pat Kelly knows he's got a race on his hands right now. He wants to get up past Thomas Shane if he can, and he is in range to go and construct it, but he's just got to unlock the chance. He takes a much more narrow line, coming out of the corner, trying to get the power early, and the leaders once again, you can see they're not too far by track position from that group. They've got Adam Cohn just in front, and then it's about 10 seconds down the road to get to Gennady Kalashnikov.
Yeah, certainly right. Back here, John Pat Kelly, he's putting plenty of pressure on Tamashane here. Just struggling to find an opening, but we may see it happen. Oh, Tamashane is going to close that door. Is John Pat Kelly able to get the run out of the turn? No, he's not. It'll be pretty single file through the next couple of corners.
It certainly is. And John Pat Kelly, very much a driver who's been here, come rain, come shine. Matt Wood and Jorge Martinez continue on their track at this point. It's very much a case of what can you do, when can you do it? And as they fly through the right and the left here of 3 and 4, Matt Wood's holding off Martinez quite nicely. On the brakes then, 6 and 7. The left, then the right. And as this corner goes on from a Turnham, it's very, very difficult to get a run down the inside through that section of track. Martinez, though, doing a great job keeping himself there. But where will the traffic play a factor on this run towards that backstretch?
Yeah, that is going to be a big part of this here. Martinez's car looks quite settled.
Might be it.
Yeah, I think so. Matt Wood doesn't look as settled as what Martinez is. We've got the run. It's 0.1 of a second separating. Is he going to go for the lunge? Oh, he's going to go to the outside.
And he's
going to get it done.
He is. He's going to get it done before they reach the corner. Remember, you get 2 bits of DRS here. He's able to get himself a bit of a breakaway, but now Matt Wood's got to turn to sit and wait. Adam Cohn getting well out of the way. Martinez, after dropping 3 seconds down there at that third chicane, about 17 laps ago now at this point, has taken the race lead away with just a handful of laps to go. And this race isn't over either for 3rd position. Dennis Branch only has a 2-second gap right now to Masafumi Abarame.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. I think Dennis Branch might be able to just hold on to it enough, but look at the pace of Abarame at that last lap by. Yeah, second fastest lap in the race, or 3rd fastest lap in the whole race, is Masafumi Abarame, 14.5. So he's really opened up the stops here with 4 laps to go.
But has he got himself enough time to construct an overtake? That's the next question. Leading to Martinez in control, Matt Wood in 2nd, and you can see just how hard he's pushing right now. You can see a podium in front of him, but there is the top 2 through that final chicane once again. Matt Wood, for the first time in this race, having to deal with the dirty air through that section. It might take him a couple laps, just adjust to it. We're on 45 of 47. Martinez just has to hold on. But how much was he pushing? And will those tyres hit that proverbial cliff?
Yeah, I don't know if they will. He is very good at looking after tyre life, but we do have 3 laps to go. Anything can happen. Maybe that this is all part of Matt Wood's plan. We'll wait and see. There's absolutely nothing in it between these guys, but looking a little bit further back. Oh, Dennis Branch, he's lost the spot. Let's go back and have a look there.
And it looks like the way it's been done was that he had a mistake through the 3rd chicane. So he overcooked it through there, and we'll have a look at it once again. And this is what pressure does to drivers. If you're struggling out there on pace, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So here's the issue. Hits the brakes, just goes too deep into it. Missed his point by about 15 meters. And then he's got to serve the slow down. And then he's going to have Aberame trying to get down the inside. So he's got to cover it off. So he has to run it a bit deep through the corner once again. And then ultimately, Dennis Branch's podium aspirations are gone. But for the lead again, Matt Wood is back through and into the race lead. So he's got that sorted then. And we're still on replay here at this point in time as we see it. But it was ultimately another pass. And it was down the inside using the DRS again.
Yeah, let's just stay on the replay there for now. And we will see this pass far away from happening.
This is how it happens. It is as plain and as simple as you want. It's a dogfight between two fantastic drivers. We are at a lap and a half to go in the race, but this is what happened with 2 and a little bit laps to go. Trying to figure it out, trying to find the pass. Matt Wood just setting it up, lining it up down this straight, and it's as plain and as simple as they come about. Just getting himself to the inside, and as he lunges down through, he took it away.
Yeah, there we go. Nice move there by Matt Wood. We will go back to live now for this nearly at the last lap point. This last turn. That was really well executed there by Matt Wood. And yeah, I didn't think he had the tyre life out. Maybe he just let the tyres cool down. He still got that final charge from him.
It's not over though. You can tell Marquez wants to get in position. They've been chopping and changing. It's taken a couple laps each time for them to get themselves into position. Marquez knows he's only got one chance remaining if he wants to get this win. And this would be a desperately important win against Matt Wood. He goes through now into 6 and 7. Wood giving himself about half a second's gap then as they charge through. Now you've got to be a little bit concerned about every corner. This is where the nerves start to jangle. They race incredibly hard, these two. And through that third chicane, how have they got it? Ice cool in their veins. They both take it absolutely sensationally. But Matt Wood is starting to stretch those legs at the most important time. They've got traffic in front as well. That's going to give a tow potentially to Matt Wood. And as Marquez struggles through the corner, the tyres finally deciding to let go in the rears. Matt Wood can just start to stretch and extend and do exactly what he needs to. It's been a fantastic battle between these two, but Matt Wood, who was more in control of his destiny, managed his race to perfection. Matt Wood takes the win here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Fantastic drive there by Matt Wood, and also Jorge Marquez to close that gap up there was fantastic, and just didn't quite have that tyre life left. Did expect it to happen. Masafumi Aberame, he's going to come through to finish in 3rd place. Dennis Branch behind him in 4th position.
Yeah, and that final chicane, let's just make sure of it here as they go through. And this is a fantastic drive from Masafumi Aberame. He was well in the pack, racing Kalashnikov and co, broke through at the stops and drove an almighty second stint to get back to Dennis Branch. He's driven absolutely fantastically, and you cannot put anything less in terms of the way that he has driven to get himself through. Likes of John Pat Kelly also making drives then towards the line, as it will be the top 9 drivers who will be finishing on the leading lap. Shane A, of course, will be behind John Pat Kelly. Kent Nielsen will take 5th, and Hiroyuki Sakaguchi in 6th. But again, another solid drive. And this is the thing, John Pat Kelly started 12th. He'll finish 7th. He'll still make a good gain out of that, and that's just the John Pat Kelly way.
Yeah, that's certainly right. He will make a good gain out of that one. We are going to get the results for the race up on screen.
You absolutely will.
I'll give you the honours, mate.
No worries at all. Matt Wood then, 59 minutes and 4 seconds, holding off Marquez by half a second, who said, good race, pushed too hard to recover the tyre life. So that is Marquez saying he gave it his best shot, but he just ran out of life. Masafumi Aberame will take the podium ahead of Dennis Branch, with it being 4th position in the end there for him. Kent Nielsen, a top 5 on home soil, and Hiroyuki Sakaguchi there in 6th place. John Pat Kelly will take 7th ahead of Tamas Shane in 8th. Gennady Kalashnikov will be classified as a lap down in 9th. as he crossed the line, with Adam Cohn, the New Zealander, rounding out then the top 10 a lap down. He'll be joined by Anish Mehta and Jan Stratinsky, and 4 retirees from this race: Tomonori Kajitani, Dustin Smith, Anthony Katz, and Adam Webb, all within the space of about 4 laps of each other. But another crucial win in terms of what was needed for Matt Wood. Such a brilliant battle here on the St. Lawrence River. And this is why this circuit is so incredible. And time after time, we find ourselves coming back here with the iRacing Grand Prix Series. But that's not all that we got going on, of course, with sim racing, because just a little bit later on today, for those in the Australian Peninsula, you've got yourself the finale of Scops from Road America. Make sure you check that out. But it is the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya that we will jump to next. A circuit which is the testing track, holds around to the championship. It's going to be a really difficult challenge to find overtaking, very similar to the likes of today. But with a massive thanks, of course, to the Virtual Racing School, who are sponsors of the replays here at SimSpeed TV this year, along with the likes, of course, of the iRacing Open Wheel community, who have been helping to finance these broadcasts for us. You got Scott Fountain, you got Jake Sperry, and you've got Matt Wood again taking a vital victory. There's never a dull moment when it comes with sim racing, especially when it comes to iRacing. This has been a championship for Matt Wood that he has been walking away with, and he's continuing to do so right now. He's almost 200 points clear, and with 3 rounds to go, it's his in the back pocket to go back to back. We'll see you 1 week from today, from here, Barcelona.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to him.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go.
Oh no.
That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?